Was Alger Hiss guilty? Imagine a world where the lines between loyalty and betrayal are blurred, where the fate of a nation hangs in the balance. This was the reality during the Cold War, a time filled with suspicion and fear. One name that stands out in this tumultuous period is Alger Hiss, a former United States government official accused of espionage. The question of his guilt has sparked debate for decades, drawing in historians, political analysts, and the public alike. Alger Hiss was born in 1904 and graduated from Harvard University. He served in various capacities in the United States government, including as a high-ranking official in the State Department and a key figure in the establishment of the United Nations. His career was marked by significant achievements, but it was also shadowed by allegations of espionage. The controversy surrounding Hiss began in 1948 when Whittaker Chambers, a former communist and Time magazine editor, accused him of being a Soviet spy. Chambers claimed that Hiss had provided him with classified documents while they were both involved in communist activities. This accusation led to a series of legal battles, culminating in Hiss's trial in 1949. During the trial, the prosecution presented evidence including typed documents and witness testimonies. Hiss maintained his innocence, asserting that he had never been involved in espionage. The case hinged on the credibility of the witnesses and the interpretation of the evidence. In January 1950, Hiss was convicted of perjury for lying about his involvement in espionage, rather than for espionage itself. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Supporters of Hiss argue that he was a victim of political persecution, claiming that the evidence against him was circumstantial, and that the trial was influenced by the anti-communist sentiment of the time. They point to the lack of concrete proof linking him to espionage activities and highlight the possibility that Chambers may have fabricated parts of his testimony. On the other hand, critics maintain that Hiss's conviction was justified, citing the testimonies and the documents presented during the trial. They argue that the evidence, although debated, was compelling enough to warrant a guilty verdict. The case has been further complicated by the releases of Soviet intelligence files in later years, which some believe implicate Hiss in espionage activities. As the debate continues, the question remains, was Alger Hiss guilty? The answer may depend on one's perspective and interpretation of the evidence. What is clear is that the case has left a lasting impact on American history and the discourse surrounding loyalty, truth, and justice in a time of fear and uncertainty.